Cool. So we're on. Um, this is video log 9. This is the second last one. Um, I am doing well. I can't wait for the semester to be over, but here we go. Sarah had a very good prompt this week. Um, I'm kind of interested in this stuff to see. I know I've heard a lot from Sarah about this kind of this semester. We've kind of talked and had conversations about women in work and kind of how it affects society and how society looks on it and that type of stuff. So I'm kind of glad to actually put my feedback into a vlog and explain this. The first question Sarah had was, how come smart women feel dumb? Well, they shouldn't feel dumb. That's where I start out. They shouldn't feel dumb. The only reason they feel dumb is probably because society makes them feel dumb. Um, I mean, if you look at society, some people look down on women, which isn't right. Um, we shouldn't have this separation between men and women. I mean, women are just as qualified, if not even more qualified, than men are for most jobs. Um, I did see this quote in the Gilligan text. It says, "Women have less sense of justice than men. They are less ready to submit the great exigencies, of life, that they are more often influenced in their judgments by feelings of affection and hostility." This is this seems to me like society's look on women altogether is, oh, they put their emotions into it. All they're doing is thinking with emotions. No, that's not always the case. I know very, very smart women that know what they're doing and that can speak from a smart background and don't have to feel dumb about stuff. Um, Most of the time society looks at it in that way and it shouldn't be. This influence shouldn't come from um, society's outlook. It shouldn't at all. This is affecting the women in our workplace and also the women coming to um, higher education programs. You won't see as many girls answering questions in class or sticking their neck out there to try to go above and beyond. It's hard. The second question was, what do you think would help women feel more comfortable answering questions and creating organizations? Um, I kind of started out with a thing that they do at some universities. I've heard of these things, um, but it was called Women in the Workplace seminars. It was basically empowering women, telling them of these things and kind of telling the background of why they feel this way, or trying to relate to these people and tell them that it's okay to speak out. It's okay to share your feelings. It's okay to answer questions and be strong and independent as a woman, because I mean they say it all the time, but it shouldn't be this way. They say it's a male dominated world, and that's how society looks at it. It's male dominated, and they shouldn't. Females should get the exact same rights, even though we don't consider that. I don't know why. It's basically, how do we go from here to change the past? My second uh, comment towards that question was having more women in power positions. Just like I said, that male dominated world, let's put a few women in charge and see what happens, and actually put them in places of power, because they can do these jobs. They can go above and beyond and way past the expectations of society, but they've never really gotten the chance to do that. So how are we supposed to ever get out of um, this kind of brain lock that we're in and move on past it if we never give it the chance? Um, the third question was, for men, separation and individuation are tied to gender identity, since separation from the mother is essential to the development of masculinity. And the second part of that question was, is it different for females? So, two-part question. Um, I'm gonna go based off of me, how I grew up. Um, I said yes. I said it does help in the development of my masculinity, separating from my mother. I know, I know that I was always taught that being a man was being on your own and being able to support yourself and help yourself grow. And that's not just being a man. That's not just gaining masculinity, but that's also just finding your self identity. Um, I feel like when I came to college, I learned how to be a man because I was taking care of myself, because I was doing the things that I need to do to live in this life and actually be a man and support myself. Um, One day, uh, my masculinity will grow even a little bit more when um, I have to be a man and support my family and actually do the things that I need to do um, in order to live life and actually be the type of man that needs to be in the world. And no, that's not over overpowering women at all. The second part of that question was, do you see it different for females? And I said no. I said women can find themselves just as easy as men can when there's separation. Um, I know a lot of females, especially my sister, has learned how to be a true independent woman since she has left the house and separated from my mother. She is thriving. She goes and does her own things and actually knows how to support herself. It's an awesome thing. I think it's just that separation um, of knowing that you have to grow up and knowing that you have to go into things. Um, so I don't like the word masculinity as it's used because it's kind of used as a negative term in society if you really look at it. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that. Um, but I feel like women can do the same thing if they can go on and actually find out what it means to be a true independent woman in a society. They can see it may open up their eyes to a whole new world of what society thinks and how do we go to changing that. Where do we go from here? Um, the last thing I had to really say is all this sums up to is it all is a part of growing up. Um, you know, I feel like the maturity of our nation sometimes is just out of whack. Um, we're like a bunch of kids in a jungle gym, with the jungle gym being a male-dominated playpen, and we're just pushing girls around. That's not how it should be. I mean, at some point we're gonna have to grow up. Um, I think it's kind of funny because during this whole thing, I'm watching this movie, She's the Man, and it kind of goes right along with what we're saying. Um, it's a female trying to play men's soccer at a university, um, and them not giving her the opportunity. But she wanted to prove to them that she could play in a men dominated league. She could play in that men's dominated league, and she goes to dress up like a guy and plays the whole season and ends up just dominating out there. They find out at the end of the movie that she's a girl, and they're like, wow, they can compete. They can compete with men. They can do these things. I think that sums it up. If we actually gave them the shot that society will not let happen right now, they can go above and beyond, asking questions, um, being confident in themselves, um, empowering other women to go out and try their best to do something in an organization where they may have not had leading roles before. I think this is an awesome way to put this text, and it's really eye-opening if people actually read it and read into it. Um, so this was my video log 9. I'll have the prompt for next week, so I'll see y'all then. Bye.